Hello and welcome back, your lovely faces, to another video here on the channel. Today's video, we're going to take a look at Mads Mikkelsen, who has supposedly not spoken to Johnny Depp. And we got another one where it's actually kind of interesting, where someone, has written the article, "Is Johnny's career over? I doubt it," which is always great. So we're going to spin this around and jump straight into it. So this is the first one. So Mads hasn't talked to Johnny about Fantastic Beasts role. Well, obviously not really, because again, why should he? It's again because of what's going on. They don't want to be seen that they're going against each other. So as David Yates and his crew continue with filming on the third installment in the FB franchise, the team has to adjust to newcomer Mads, who will be taking over for Johnny Depp as the villainous Grindelwald from here on out. After the UK court ruled against Pirates of the Caribbean star, Warner Brothers asked him to step away from the Wizarding World spin-off series. They never asked him to step away, they fired him. The verdict, which was questionable in and of itself. See, so they got that right by there. And the outcome subsequently led to a lot of rage and backlash on social media. Johnny's supporters are still ferociously campaigning to have the company rehire the actor, though clearly their pleas are falling on deaf ears. For now, it seems that Warner Brothers will push forward Mads as Grindelwald. And to be fair, it's not entirely unreasonable choice when you think about it. Even a recent deepfake video showed us that the Rogue One Star Wars story actor could be brilliant as the big bad. In an interview with AP Entertainment, the star discussed the role, and while he wouldn't spill much, he did say that he hasn't spoken with Johnny Depp about it yet. This is what we got by here. I'm not going to play it though, but I will leave the link for this webpage below. It's sort of like an industry tradition for actors to hold meetings when they're passing the torch. Whether it's the new James Bond or Gotham's Caped Crusader, the experienced usually have useful hints for the newcomers. This is also true for roles that get recast before the story comes to a close. Though apparently that doesn't seem to be the case here. Mads went on to note that he'll somehow have to bridge the gap himself. That's the only approach I can have, to connect the bridge between what he did and what I'm going to do, and then we'll see where it lands. Are you excited about the return of Grindelwald? And that's what they got by there. And with that, you can see, that this website as well, everyone is like, yeah, I don't think the actual outcome and the questions of it is all very questionable, and it's not exactly right, which I think is great, because at this moment in time, we're seeing now a lot of media and different websites coming to actually supporting Johnny Depp, which is amazing, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic, but it's kind of going the way I've been saying now for the last couple of weeks, where you're going to see people coming out and going, actually, yeah, I've listened to the tapes now, I've seen the evidence, and yeah, this guy is innocent. That's how it's going, and I'm really, really happy it has. Maybe these people have seen all of our videos, myself, Stevie, Tug, Les, Shelby, everyone, because with what's going on and what is actually happening with this entire situation, it's a bit like, right, these people, they all have the evidence. They're all making sound and actually very good judgment because they've seen the evidence. Which is what everyone is only asking people to read. Literally, that is all everyone's doing, is say, don't listen to what a newspaper is telling you. Read the evidence, listen to the evidence, watch the evidence, and come to your own conclusion. That is the only way people are going to make a proper and informed opinion from themselves. Otherwise, they're just going to be the sheep going, the newspaper called him this, so we must listen. Which is exactly what the Hollywood Reporter did with that very, very horrible hit piece. Because that one there, that just showed, and it kind of, well, it did. It didn't kind of, it did. It made their readers out to be stupid. Because this woman, she just went out on this Tatiana woman just went out on a hinge and just went, full blast. And just started shooting lasers and they go, this man's bad, this man's bad, this man bad. That's exactly what they did. It was a hit piece. But we're going to move on. And this is the one that I saw the other day and I was actually really quite surprised at. Is Johnny Depp's career over? I doubt it. The actor is the latest in a long line of famous men accused. And what this was, it was actually written on the 3rd of November. And I didn't actually come across it until today, which is actually kind of crazy. And when I put his name in, this has never come up before. This has just come up, I looked at it and I was like, read that, So Johnny Depp lost his legal battle over this label with a High Court judge finding it to be substantially true. The actor launched a libel suit against the Sun after they used the term. When did a confirmed act of this ever rule a man out of professional success? Last week saw the death of Sean Connery, an undeniable screen legend. The original Bond had an amazing career. Untouchables, Indiana Jones' Last Crusade, Marnie the Rock. He was a fantastic actor whose charisma, raw energy and gorgeous Scottish brogue made him a national treasure. He also condoned this. In 1965, he told Playboy, "I don't think there's anything particularly wrong about this, although I don't recommend doing it in the same way that you do this to a man. An open-handed slap is justified if all other alternatives fail." No, you can't do that. Again, this was in the 60s. Remember, this is way back then. He stated, "I haven't changed my opinion in recent years." He expressed regret for expressing such a statement at least twice, but the point stands. His career was not affected in the slightest by his on-the-record and repeated statements of that. And when you add that as well, the guy won an Oscar for The Untouchables. He just carried on and he went bigger and he went beyond. So, and he goes on to say about Chris Brown then, that he was accused of all of this, obviously with Rihanna, which was absolutely terrible. The police report stated that she turned to face him and he'd done all of this. He then drove away in the vehicle and continued to do all of this with his right hand while steering the vehicle with his left. He received all of this and has been plagued with other allegations in the decade since. But he's had huge success as a singer. And again, when you see that sort of thing, it's like, he hasn't been accused of this. Johnny hasn't. This is not what it's about. And they've even got court documents at this moment in time stating she dropped all charges against him. He didn't pressure her. AH dropped every single bit of the charges against Johnny. So literally, it's like, well, this is what we got. But then, this is where she comes in now with her publicist or her friends and everyone else, ACLU and all these kind of places. They probably looked at it and went, if you drop the charges, but you write this in the Washington Post and we get it printed in every other newspaper, it'll be huge. Because that's what they done. That is literally what they did. And obviously, this is where the defamation cases come from. And to see that, obviously, he's like, you got rid of me now from Disney because of this. And to be honest with you, and going back to the last video where we were saying that Disney do not want him to cameo in anything because of all of this, that is perfect ammunition for him for his trial. Because he can now go and say, well, because of this, I've lost this. They got rid of me from the film series and now I can't even do a cameo because of this. That is perfect. And that is defamation. And to be honest with you, he may actually win just on that part alone now. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they bring that forward. Again, going back to the article, I predict that Johnny Depp will still appear in the next FB film. Sadly, no, because 4 days later after this went live, they said get rid of him. I predict that he will be absent from the big screen for a short period of time, perhaps a year, and will then return via small roles in indie pictures, which he is, eventually finding success once again in big budget blockbusters. I predict a major profile in the glossy monthly GQ Maybe, in which he bares his soul and insists on his innocence. The headline, here's Johnny laid bare. Johnny, in his own words, will not claim his innocence but instead suggest that his voice should be heard. He will get an Oscar nomination by 2025. He will win one by 2030. The women forced to hand him his prize will do so with a stony face, much like Brie Larson did when presenting Casey Affleck with his trophy after he was accused. Claims he has denied, and she will be deemed brave for doing so. Which is exactly true. I hope I'm wrong. Believe me, I wish that men who are proven to have been this against others were not forgiven within months and allowed to return to the pedestals. But time and time again, it's clear that this is not a barrier to a man's success. So with all of that, though, this person who literally has wrote it, and there's actually no name to do it because they know how bad it would be, and it's literally saying, you know what, they're accused. I like this article because it goes both ways. It's going about, well, you know what? He's been accused. This is it. But remember, there's no criminal charges against him. He hasn't been arrested for anything. There's no actual court documents. There is nothing stating that he was arrested and charged with these accusations. Because she actually dropped everything against him because she knew that it could cause her very serious damage because she was lying. and we got a lying on the courts. Again, people are going to go say, oh, well, the London case proved this. With the London case, everyone and their mother and fathers have proved that that was crooked all the way. Because the judge, his son, the judge's entire family have connections with Murdoch. They work with the Sun people. They work with Dan Wootton, the guy who actually wrote the article. So all of that is going to go forward, and it's going to be like, yeah, that's just one big smear, which it was. Fingers crossed the VA trial goes completely different. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for future updates, and I'll see each and every one of you soon.